Welcome to Assertiveness, week 3. Okay, so we will start on page 16, everyone. And I believe that is the Assertiveness Philosophy. So I can go ahead if you'd like and read that page unless someone else would like to read it. What do you think?
I can read it.
Okay, go ahead.
An assertive philosophy. I recognize that everyone has well-practiced communication habits and long-standing attitudes that support and defend these habits. I accept the communication habits of others as fact. I will offer assertive communication and a win-win attitude even when others are offering non-assertive or aggressive styles. I understand that people change only when they choose to change. I select my personal standard of communication rather than direct those to those of others. I know others are different from me and that all kinds of people are okay. I accept responsibility for my feelings, thoughts, opinions, and behaviors. I realize I cannot be responsible for the feelings, thoughts, opinions, and behavior of others. I accept that in every relationship, every person has a 50% responsibility for the success or failure of the relationship. I know that being non-assertive and aggressive is part of being human. I know that every assertive choice precludes a non-assertive or aggressive choice and improves the chances for success at work and at home. Self-fulfilling prophecy has a flip side. When you deliver a speech knowing that people will be interested and amused, sure enough, that's the way you experience it. But if you're anxious about the crowd being bored and unresponsive, you are very likely you will have a miserable experience. People who expect negative outcomes, for example, foreigners to be inhospitable, can't even say that word.
That's right.
Expecting to have no fun, dreading the family holidays, invariably have such negative experiences again and again. To create positive outcomes, you must start with positive expectations.
Okay, so that was really nice. You read very well. Did anybody feel like one or more stood out for them? Yeah.
I understand that people change only when they choose to change.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one.
I like the last one.
Yeah, I do too. I really like that. I think, speaking to the first one, I understand that people change only when they choose to change. I think I'll just say from my standpoint that I agree completely, and I think that's a really hard one to grasp sometimes. I know as a dietitian that took me quite a while to realize that I can only provide the information. I can't make people change their diet or what they eat or whatever. I can only give them a rationale for why they would want to make some changes to be healthier, as opposed to force it down their throat. And as a young dietitian especially, I've had to learn over the years how to provide that information. So that's just one example. Of course, there's many, many examples. So I really think that was a good one. And what's your question?
You could say that's their decision or freedom of choice.
Exactly. And that's one thing about living in America that we're so fortunate to have, is that freedom of choice.
Free country.
In a free country, exactly. So we respect and honor that we have that free choice to change or not change, okay? And hopefully we can be a good example for others, by, giving them the option of choosing to change or not change, and respecting people. And that's the one thing that we learned in here too, is to respect others, okay? So that's the one thing. But, and I'll just make note, and then you can tell me why you picked the last one, about expecting, a negative outcome as opposed to a positive expectation. And I think the family holidays, especially with the holidays coming up, I think sometimes, people dread it. And when you don't dread it, when you sort of, look forward to it, I think you're more likely to enjoy it versus dreading it. You agree? Okay.
Yes.
And that's what you were thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes we're like all stressed out. Oh my gosh, I have to decorate. I have to buy presents. I have to be here, be there, do this, do that. And when you think of it as a memorable time to get together, and
Celebration.
a celebration and the reason for the season, and as opposed to just all the hoopla, get all nervous about it, then, obviously that's what you're gonna get, right? So I think that was really good. So does anybody know why some of these are considered assertive?
I statement.
Yeah, perfect. That was a great one, yeah.
Assertive, one of them, explain communication.
Mm-hmm.
If you're assertive, you can communicate, if you're being assertive in a positive way.
Right,
And when you communicate with them,
yeah,
you can give them advice, the things that they want to achieve that are set out to do.
right.
Stuff like
And you're talking about I, just like he had said. I think the fact that you're taking this philosophy as I statements. We're not talking about what you or they or whoever should do. It's all about I, what I'm gonna accept, what I'm gonna offer, what I'm gonna do, not what all the other people should do. So, yeah.
And when you were talking about respect before, everyone's got a free will and everyone's responsible for their own actions.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah, I think
perfect.
some people think just because bad stuff happened to them that they can go about their lives doing bad to others, and that's just not the case.
Right, that's exactly right. And I think that's true. A lot of times, it's hard to get over what maybe happened to you, or not to you, but to people in their childhood or teenage years or whatever, and then they think that they have the right to treat other people bad because maybe they were treated bad.
Yeah.
And I think,
If everybody did that, this would be a horrible world to live in.
yeah, exactly. Because, parents, for example, in majority of cases, do the best they can do with the tools they have.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times until somebody becomes a parent, not all of us are gonna be a parent, I'm not a parent, but it's almost like, that's when a lot of times people realize, wow, this isn't easy. Now I know what my parents were going through, so, I'm a pet parent, so my kids never grow up. So it's
Yeah.
like, even my mom said that, she's like, when you become a parent, which I didn't become, but I'm a pet parent, so I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Some students in school, if they're abused at home, they take their abuse out at the other students at school.
Yeah, we're seeing that too, and that's really unfortunate because, it's not good to bully other people. Nobody wants to be bullied, and just because you're being bullied, you want compassion, you don't want to,
I've been on both sides of the coin.
how's
I've
that?
been bullied and I have bullied.
Yeah.
I had a friend once that had a tattoo that said hurt people.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that,
And I
yeah.
think it just kind of goes to show if you just be kind to everyone and treat everyone the way you want to be treated, maybe they will, soften a little bit and realize, the world's not awful, so
Yeah.
awful to
Yeah,
live in if you show them some kindness.
right. And I've been hearing some things, in some other countries, and it's even coming, here as well a little bit, that some of the people that have been incarcerated, they're trying to use different tactics, where they're saying, hugs, not bullets, or something like that, where they're trying to treat people that are in, the system with more compassion instead of punishment, and they're actually healing much better rather
That's
than being
awesome.
punished, yeah. So I think that's really neat. So I agree. I mean, when you're hurt, you want to hurt, but really that's, I think that's what's so wonderful about our center, that the no judgment kind of situation, the no stigma, and trying to really reach out and help
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
That's what's helped me so much being here.
Great,
Definitely.
definitely.
Right, so, okay, well, let's get to page 17, and we're gonna get into the positive mental imagery, and I think, for myself, I know when I start going down that spiral of negativity, thinking about maybe some of the negative past things that I've gone through, which I'm sure we all have gone through that, just because life isn't easy, and nothing's guaranteed as far as, positivity all the time. Sometimes we need to have that positive mental imagery in order to you know, go forward in a positive manner, and, you know, when it's not sunny outside, we can have a little sunshine, like you have your sunshiny
Don't
jacket
worry,
on.
I was ready to tell you that the sunshine will be back.
It will be back, we
What
know
is-
that, it definitely will be back. So even if it's not back outside today, we can have it in our mind, you know, we can have it with our jackets, which the two of us have on. You know, or sometimes I'll even put on, I don't have it today, but sometimes I have a yellow citrine ring, which I'll look down and see the stone, because I like stones, and it'll just sort of brighten up, you know, the mood, or maybe it's a top you wear, or.
That's why I wear this necklace, it smells like citrus.
Oh, does it? There you
So
go.
it calms my anxiety and brightens my
Yeah,
mood.
so essential oils or lotions or you know, clothes or whatever, sometimes that really helps. So, and it could just be, I know I went through like a hypnosis thing years ago at UC. It was a trial to help with my migraines. And I just remember them saying over and over to me about imagine the sunshine, imagine the beach, you know, and stuff like that. So that was sort of a positive imagery. So anyhow, does anybody want to read page 17? Because we're gonna.
I will.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Positive mental imagery. When you start practicing the new ways of expressing yourself and handling situations, it is a good idea to also practice the technique of positive mental imagery. Positive mental imagery is using your imagination to visualize yourself saying and doing things successfully and assertively. Envision situations in which you see yourself being assertive, feel confident, powerful, and effective. Hear your voice sound strong and steady. Experience the satisfaction and pleasure of being assertive. Do this repeatedly. Do it before you give a business presentation, before you ask an important question, before you introduce yourself to a stranger, and so on. The more powerful your mental image and expectation, the greater the success you should experience. Remember, only imagine positive outcomes. Don't consider the possibility of things going badly, because your subconscious expectations are so powerful that envisioning failure could undermine your confidence and ultimate success. Recall the example of Joyce, whose subconscious mind kept her from graduating because of a single powerful image plenty of years earlier. Use the power of self-fulfilling prophecy to create positive experiences. When you are able to do this, you have begun to develop an assertive philosophy. Think of positive mental imagery as programming a flight plan. Having the right expectations and perceptions before you start your journey is essential if you are going to reach your destination safely.
Okay, very good. What do you guys think about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
It's like using your imagination.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And does anybody do that where they either they're outside in the sunshine, or they might be in their room and they just sort of calm, and it could be even a dark room and just close their eyes,
Yeah.
listen to soft music, that kind of thing? Yeah?
If you set goals for yourself,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
better to be positive and be optimistic than being negative or pessimistic, because you remain optimistic, the outcome or what will happen will be better.
Yeah, and especially when you share it with others, it just seems like, you know, it's reinforced. If you share it with a friend or somebody here, then it sort of lifts you up again if you lift somebody else up.
I may not share it with friends of mine, but with my case manager and my psychiatrist.
Okay, there you go, sure. Okay, very good. Alrighty, so let's program on 18, programming yourself for success, okay? And then it talks about reprogramming yourself and creating reprogramming statements. So we're gonna eventually get there, so you can come up with some for yourself. Unfortunately, I don't have cards like I was hopeful to have, but we do have a place in your book where you can write out some of these affirmations and commitments and stuff like that. So I'm going to read a paragraph and then I'll have somebody else read. We'll sort of take turns and get through this. But I think it's really helpful whether you've taken this class before or not. I'm going to go ahead and sit down for a minute. But developing positive mental imagery is an exercise that does require conscious effort. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I did too, yeah.
When I said about achieving a goal is to have a positive attitude, it also takes conscious effort also, or motivation.
Yeah, yeah. 'cause-
Say if you want to clean part of your apartment one week
Yeah,
and do another part the following week,
right,
you remain pessimistic, but it's effort also, you get that done.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So it may not be like physical exercise, but you still have to engage your mental capacity to follow through with this, right? And that way, you're gonna reap the rewards if you do it on a regular basis, okay? Because a lot of times we may feel like, oh, it's so much easier just to turn on the TV and passively, let the time go by. But that doesn't really make the brain neurons click. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when you make a conscious effort, or even in this case, it's saying a way to influence the subconscious mind, which makes the neurons and synapses work in the brain, which gets a little biochemical, but it's saying subconscious expectations and internal dialogues, which means you're sort of talking to yourself, okay? Internal dialogues or conversations are powerful influences on our perception of reality. Okay, so the way we perceive something in the real world. We actually all perceive things differently, okay? I don't know if anybody has done this before, but before I finish this paragraph, but has anybody talked to your family or friends and reminisced about the past, and all of a sudden each of you perceive that event a little bit differently?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know my sister and my mom and I all think about something from the past, and let's just say it was a good time, okay? But we still were like, no, it happened this way. I was there, it happened that way. And it was still a good thing.
Right, it's just everybody has their own truth
Yes.
of an event or a
Yeah,
circumstance.
their truth, their
And
point
they're
of
all
view.
true.
Yeah,
It's like a paradox. They can all be true and different at the same time.
exactly. So you're all perceiving what I'm saying or what each other's saying a little bit differently. Yes, Bob?
There's self-imagery, but included in that is self-communication
Right.
within yourself.
And that's what we're talking about, okay? So, much of what exists in our subconscious was recorded early in life and can be thought of as a psychological program, okay? So, we all were programmed, and this doesn't mean it's negative or anything woo-woo or, like, I don't know, like you were brainwashed, but we all were programmed by different family members, whether it's grandparents or parents or aunts or uncles, whoever, or teachers, a little bit different, right? More than likely, most of us went to a different school, grade school, kindergarten, wherever, right? So that just is why we see things or hear things a little bit differently, okay?
I
But,
guess it would be a big thing if your parents came from a different country.
well, it is, yeah, because my dad came from Germany, and so did my grandparents. But
Or
now
even
my
though-
mom came from downtown.
Even like a different continent even.
Exactly. So I definitely was learning things from two different viewpoints from both parents.
Yeah.
So it was a little confusing for me, And unfortunately, there was some fighting going on because they had totally different, it clashed, all right?
Console.
Yeah, definitely. So, with that in mind, we got good and bad things probably from both of them, but they did their best. So, once you get older and mature through life, then you want to reprogram yourself because you took all the good from your parents or whoever raised you. But now that we're older, we want to hopefully take the good and then figure out how we're going to move forward so we can be assertive and sort of leave that passive behind so we don't get stomped on and we leave the aggressive and put that at bay so we don't become the hurt people that hurt people, right? Okay, because surely we all can probably relate to one of those or both of those
Right.
that we've talked about in previous classes. I
Well,
know.
that was even one of the statements, I think, that it's human nature that to be aggressive or
Yeah.
non-assertive.
Yeah,
You just have to
exactly.
balance
And
it.
I know that I've even experienced this even with my pets that I got from the pound, where my one dog was growling because, you know, I mean, like my one has been in 2 homes before he came to mine. So that's like, who knows what happened to him before it came to me. Now she's very loving, but it took quite a while before they got to that point, right? You don't know if they got kicked or what happened, you know. So anyway, okay, so that's my paragraph and my perception of it. Everybody else might be thinking, she doesn't know what she's talking about, I went through this or I went through that. Maybe I do know what I'm talking about, I don't know. But if somebody wants to read the reprogramming yourself part, you're more than welcome. Anybody?
I'll read.
Go ahead.
Reprogramming yourself. Much of our original psychological programming has been with us from childhood and prompts our non-assertive, assertive, and aggressive behaviors. Unlike a computer, which does not have to unlearn old habits, a person cannot be totally reprogrammed. While you can't remove your original programming, you can insert some new programming to counteract it. With people, new programming must be done gradually, and the new program must run numerous times before things become automatic. It can be done, however. How do you know what to put into your program? How do you enter the new programming? Review the quiz items on pages 6 and 14. These will help you recognize your beliefs, attitudes, perceptions, or expectations that are not consistent with an assertive philosophy. Noticing what you say and do can provide additional examples of behaviors and patterns of speech that are inconsistent with being assertive. Keep a journal in which you record your thoughts and internal dialogue. It will reveal a number of old programming messages that you can change to improve your assertiveness.
Okay, very good, very good. Wow, I haven't read that for a long time, so I guess I knew what I was talking about a little bit, huh? So that's pretty good, but it just, yeah.
When you reprogram yourself, you may not have achieved something that you wanted to begin with,
Uh-huh.
but you gain experience from your mistakes, so you don't make that same mistake over and over again and
Right.
achieve that at a later time.
Right, right. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but it takes me a lot of mistakes before I get to where I want to be. And I'll tell you what, not that I'm ever, I'm sure, become famous, but they say a lot of people that get gold medals or, invent the light bulb or whatever, the reason they achieve these things is because they are persistent and they don't give up.
Right.
They continue to do it over and over and over until they achieve what they want to achieve,
Right.
even if it takes a lifetime. So
They
that's
develop resiliency.
exactly. So we don't have to achieve what's in this book today
Right.
or even this term. It's just to be aware of this information so you can continue to work on it, okay?
Mhm.
That's the resiliency and the persistence and being aware is at least half the battle. Yes, Bob?
Like in the Olympics, you
Mhm.
could receive medals.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you may not achieve those medals at first,
Mm-hmm.
but you eventually do because you reprogram yourself to do better in those sports.
Yep, yep. And you know what? There's a lot of people that write books or come up with inventions, and they've been turned down by many, what do you call it, when you write a book?
Publishers?
Thank you, publishers. And there may be 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 publishers that turn them down, and then all of a sudden, somebody accepts them, and they become a bestseller. That's just an example. But that can happen in any field or trade or whatever, right? So it doesn't mean we have to be famous. But the point is, if we're an aggressive person or we're a passive person, you'll never believe, by me speaking today, that I was shy. I was. I used to shake and sweat and stutter and turn purple. My whole neck would get red. I couldn't even say my name. Seriously. So I would say that's sort of proof that I didn't give up to be able to teach this class. Or I can literally speak in front of hundreds of people now. But it took a long, long time, probably almost 30 years. So that's just something that I will share with you, because it was not easy. It was very, very scary for me, but I just was determined not to give up. Yes?
Just like politicians that get elected in Congress and the Capitol, like members House of Representatives, U.S. senators, and President, Vice President of the United States. That doesn't, that's achievable and that's honorable, but that does not make them good people, what they're doing
Oh,
once they're
yeah.
elected.
That's true. That is very true. And there's good ones and there's bad ones, but that's true in probably every profession. So you're very right about that. Okay, so the next part is creating that reprogramming statement, okay? So this is creating a plan for all of you who want to do it to reprogram yourself, writing out new statements that will counteract old behaviors, okay? And the plan includes giving yourself permission. Sometimes you have to do that. And let's see, do we have his name on one of these? Let me see if this was it. No, that's not it. If there's no name on there, we can just give him that one.
Or I can share.
Okay. All right, this, did you ever receive a book? This is your first time? Okay. So, so we're at the point where we're gonna try to give ourselves permission to create new positive statements to sort of reprogram our brain to be positive. Thank you, dear. And so you came in time for that. We were just talking about positive imagery and reprogramming yourself. So that's where we're at this point. Okay? So, anyhow, is that making sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, what we're going to do, let's sort of go down to where it says to review the simple steps. You see where that is? Where the arrows are in the middle of the page?
It's page 19.
Yeah, page 19. To review the simple steps to reprogram yourself, you should include the following, okay? And this is talking about cards, but we're not going to use the cards. We're going to flip over to the next page. So I just want to sort of, no, not yet. Don't switch yet. So basically, we're going to try to get relaxed, okay? And then we're going to read some of these statements on the next page, which I'll give you guys a chance to read, whoever wants to. And then, well, we're not going to sleep. If you're at home, you can sleep on it, okay? But we're not going to get to sleep in this class, so stay alert. But it's basically trying to get relaxed about it, so sort of relax while you're getting your mind sort of set for this. And then they're saying to do it daily for 21 days. You're more than welcome to do that, okay, if you want to. I think that's a really good plan. But in this class, we're just going to do it today. But I think it would be wonderful to do the deep relaxation, sleep on it. Do you ever hear how they say, you know, sleep on something and then make your decision?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good plan.
So
But
if you put it before you go to sleep, it melts into your subconscious?
yeah, sure. So I've done that before, actually. And so you can do that when you're trying to make it a real important decision. But in this case, we're not going to sleep. So the statements should reflect your own objectives and needs. So whether it's to be less aggressive, whether it's to be less passive, whether it's to have more I statements in your acumen, or, you know, your, I don't know what another word for acumen is, but your plan of action. So you are the person best equipped to identify what you want, what you need to change, and how to create your new program to support this change, right? You don't want me to tell you what you need to do. I don't know your inside of your brain, okay? So I'm not gonna tell you. That's just like, if I'm a dietitian, I've learned over time, and back in the day, I used to tell people what to eat. But then I learned I need to find out what you want to change in your eating plan, okay? Because they taught me that way, the old way, like 35 years ago. That's how dietitian teachers taught me. And then we learned differently over time. Okay, that's a totally different story though. So these are just sample statements, okay? And that might help you when we get to page 21, all right? And then we can share those if we want. So some of the following on page 20, which you can turn, okay? And it's gonna, basically the permission statements are, it's okay for my wants and needs to be as important as those of others. Has anybody ever felt like it wasn't okay? Like, and you don't have to tell me, but let's just put it this way. I didn't. I at times in my life, I didn't feel like it was okay, or I didn't feel like I was as worthy as somebody else.
I still don't.
Okay, so you're willing to admit that, okay. So I don't feel like everybody has to share that, but I honestly felt like I would honestly allow, and this is nothing against the men in here, but I felt like if I dated a man that didn't treat me with respect, well, at least I had a boyfriend. You know, that kind of thing. That's just an example that I'm thinking of right now, okay? So.
I think mine comes from like when I was a kid. And it's nothing against my parents or the way they raised me. It's just like I came from an in-home daycare situation, so it was always like we had to take care of those kids first.
Right,
They
right,
had to eat first. They had to do everything first.
Gotcha.
I was like,
yeah. And I was the oldest, so I had to make sure all my siblings were taken care of.
same thing then, similar.
A similar thing. There you go,
Yeah.
there you go. So how could I worry about my needs when the kids had to eat and had to have diapers changed or whatever? Yeah, so some similar situation, okay. So you understand. But it is okay to get my needs and wants taken care of, and they're just as important as everybody else. So I can get my needs met. I will ask for what I want. I am someone who deserves having my needs met. So those are some just sample statements. It's okay to have feelings and express them. Now I know for a fact, and maybe some of you can relate to this, but I was raised in the era, which some of you were, some of you maybe weren't, where it wasn't really okay to have feelings and express them. Even if I had feelings, we were taught, my sister and I at least, and probably even the boys, because boys, and maybe this is true still today, it wasn't okay to cry. Or for the girls, fold your hands and be quiet. You're meant to be seen and not heard. That phrase. Oh wow, you're fast. Okay.
Now I've been having this book for a long time, so I've been writing on this already.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a chance to share in a minute.
All right.
So, anyway, that was just what I remember. I know my mom would brag on me that in church at 1 year old I would sit like this and not move and not talk and not anything. Now I don't know about you, but most 1 year olds don't do that.
Right.
I feel proud of it, but on the other hand, I don't think that was really psychologically good for me as a 1 year old. You know what I mean?
Especially if she kept repeating how proud she was of you that doing that at that age.
Yeah.
As you go age in your childhood too.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I will tell others what I'm feeling. Well, now it's like the opposite. I think I do it too much. I think I'm compensating for not being able to talk as a young child, you know. And then I am an emotionally honest person. And I think that's really good. I love that about people. Now, there's some people that don't feel comfortable with that. So I think sometimes that's hard for me at least, maybe not for others, but to know when it's okay to be emotionally honest and when maybe to, as Chris told me, to dial it back. And just because I do it too much. So, yes, Bob?
Some people who borrow money off of other people
Yeah.
and say they pay it back,
Oh, yeah.
and they don't,
Yeah.
and then the other person gets kind of upset with us.
Sure,
Because what they're doing, no, they're lying, that's stealing.
exactly.
Done in that manner where they
Yeah.
promise they'll pay it back.
We talked about that when David and I taught this last time, and you know what, I'll just share with you that I've learned that if you lend money, you've given money. So you might as well just kiss the money goodbye,
Right.
because it's not gonna happen. So just plan on giving a donation or don't lend money.
Right.
That's what I've learned, because I've lost a lot of money that way. So that's up to you, how you want to handle that. Okay, and I hope you don't mind me reading this, is that okay? Are you okay with that? Okay. It's okay to make mistakes or not know something, okay? I can admit my mistakes or say I don't know. And I really like that a lot, because I've had people, and if you do this, don't take offense by this, but I've had people defend themselves when they don't know something and put me down. And it's like, you know what, I don't mind if you don't know something. I don't mind at all. But when somebody doesn't know something, a lot of times they sort of skirt the issue and just get angry with you because they don't want to say I don't know.
Yeah.
Have anybody ever seen that?
Yeah, my brother's pretty arrogant sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, know-it-all. And I think I can be too. I think
Yeah.
it's in our genes.
Yeah,
And I just want to, like, have an answer.
yeah, yeah,
But sometimes you don't have the answer,
right.
so you get frustrated.
Yeah. I'd rather somebody just say I don't
Yeah.
know instead of getting mad, you know,
Mhm.
because then you're just confused. I'm just like, you know, I don't even think about them not knowing the answer. I just don't understand. Why are they mad at me? I don't even understand, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I have a psychiatric illness and so does a lot of people,
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean if a person has a psychiatric illness that they're disrespectful. You can be real respectful.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. Okay. So I'll try to get through this a little bit quicker because I don't want to run out of time. But anyhow, so basically I will admit my mistakes and say I don't know when appropriate. I'm honest, learn from my mistakes. And, you know, like I said, we'll continue to make mistakes. I mean, we're not perfect. We never will be. That's just the truth. I can allow others to make mistakes. I will have reasonable expectations of others. I like that one a lot because, you know, to expect somebody to always be perfect, it's just not reasonable. I am realistic and understand that everyone makes mistakes. So to think somebody is perfect and put them on a pedestal, that's not even fair to them because it's somebody that may seem perfect, you know, then it's like, where do they go from there, you know? And then it's okay to trust others. I can share and trust. I will trust and share. I am a trusting and sharing person. Now, I'm going to add a caveat to that. I agree with all of that, but I think you should still not necessarily have a wall up, right? But I think we all need to be very careful because I've been a very trusting person throughout my life and opened my heart up throughout my life. But you do need to have your safeguard so that people don't use and abuse you.
Right.
And be so trusting that you're naive to the fact that somebody could take advantage of you, whether it be through money or something like that. It doesn't mean to be aggressive. It just means, like David has said in here before, hasn't he said something like, could I have $20? Right?
Right.
And then he expects you to say no, okay? So I agree with that. I think that we need to, in this class, use assertiveness so we can have our boundaries.
Right.
So people don't take advantage of us. Because with mental illness in particular, hold on one sec, Bob, I think that people can truly try to take advantage if they know that we're vulnerable.
Right.
Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. It
Yeah.
happened to my uncle.
Yeah, yeah. And it's happened to me. Yeah. And it's like, if they think that we're in a vulnerable situation of any kind, then we may be somebody with mental illness or the elderly or little children need to be protected. It doesn't mean that we need to walk around all frail or anything, but just know that we have rights, okay? So that's all I'm getting at by that. Yes, trust, but know who's trustworthy and who's not, okay? That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I think that when you're slow, like you have disabilities,
Yeah.
it's more easier for a person to take advantage of you
Right.
than the person
Yeah, yeah. Because even myself, and I have a lot of education, but I can be fooled too. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're very, very intelligent or not, or
Right.
have a lot of education or not.
that, right.
People still can take advantage. So it's
Right.
not to be scared or paranoid or anything like that. It's just, if you're uncertain, then find somebody like Chris, or if you have a family member that you do trust, which I do, then from now on, I'm gonna run it past them.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten myself into unfortunate situations. Because I've had poor judgment at a vulnerable time in my life, when like, I lost, got laid off my job, or I got cancer or something like that, and I've made bad choices when I wasn't thinking clearly. Is
That's
that
what-
making sense?
Yeah, because I went to a support group, and one of the older guys in the support group made a very clear, good statement that I thought was very helpful. He said, find somebody now that you can trust, that you're not paying. And that made a lot of sense, because
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't just rely on a therapist or,
Yeah,
your doctor, because you're paying them for their advice.
Well, right, and not only that, but we can't, unfortunately, just call them on a whim, or see them every
Right.
day, or whatever. You
Find
get
a
an
friend or
hour a
family
month or
member.
something,
Find a friend or family member and stay close to them.
and
Don't-
run it
yeah.
by them.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, did you have something you wanted to add?
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're okay.
Like, in a friendship relationship, you have to set boundaries.
Mhm.
If you act nice, respectful towards other people, like your friends,
Yeah,
you kind of expect them to show respect back. On a higher scale than that, in a marriage relationship,
Yeah.
there's also financial boundaries. The one person has to support the other one financially, and the other one has to support them financially.
yeah, and it's different in every marriage. Sometimes you share the money, sometimes it's your money, my money, and our money. I like that plan.
That's the way my husband.
Okay, that's the way it's gotta be, I'm sorry, because they're not gonna tell me not to get my hair done or something like that, Okay, so let's go ahead and take at least about 5-6 minutes, so we have a little time to discuss it, and I know that you're already done, that's fine. But if you can take a few minutes to look at your permissions, commitments, affirmations, at least see if you can do one or two, okay, of each one. And I'll be quiet for a couple minutes.
The last time, Maria, that I did participate in this class,
Yes.
it was about the last quarter that I participated in this class. So that's why I still been on having this book, but I'm already write down all my statements.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, well, you want to read them to yourself for a minute? Just make sure they still apply, okay?
wasn't exactly the right day, but it's good something.
Okay. Alright, so when you're done, put your pen down and then I'll know. And I'll just each, whoever wants to share, can tell me at least 2 or 3 things if you're willing.
Well, 2 things, that was.
Did you have a pen?
I just think
You're not wanting to today?
I can answer them, but I just think that.
Okay, just about done. Okay, looks like we're getting there. Well, Bob, did you wanna, go ahead and share some of your thoughts?
Permissions. It's okay to have an interest in sports.
Okay.
It's okay to pray for other people.
Okay, you wanna do commitments now?
Okay. Commitments. I will continue to do with my part-time job and do as I'm told to do.
Okay, great.
I will not be so complimentary.
You're fine.
I will continue to show respect towards other people.
Very nice.
Affirmations. I am capable not to procrastinate on things like laundry or the cleaning of my apartment.
Okay.
I am realize I am more capable than what I think I am. So,
Those are all very good. Okay, wonderful. All right, did you want to do yours?
Yeah, I can, just start with the permission.
Yeah, do at least 2 on each one if you're able to or want to.
Okay. Permission. It's okay to say no. It's okay to cry. It's okay to express my feelings.
Mhm.
I can admit my mistakes and I can learn from my mistakes.
Mhm.
I stand up for myself when others bully me. I share my thoughts and opinions with others. I will ask for help when I need it. I will not be shy. I will not let people push me around. I am a good person. I do all things, and I am honest and direct.
Very nice. Okay, woo, you guys are doing your homework. Okay, all right. Ruth, did you have some?
I'll make sure my needs are hit and done, and I ask for help if I need it. Depend on a friend or a person to help me. let's see. I'm a dependable person, and let's see, I can share and trust.
Okay, very good. Very good, thank you. Alrighty. What do you have over there, Melanie?
I put it's okay to ask for help doing what I cannot do alone. And I will depend on myself when appropriate, and I am strong and a dependable person.
Okay, very nice.
Very nice.
All right. Good. All right. Jerry.
It's okay to let people help me. It's okay to be assertive. It's okay to cut loose sometimes.
Sounds like that dance.
I can let people help me when I need help. I can be assertive. I can rely on people. I will let people help me. I will be assertive. I will work on boundaries.
Oh, good.
I am helpful. I am assertive. And I am working on boundaries.
Okay, okay. Good job. All right, how about you?
It's okay to feel pain and go easier on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can set boundaries in relationships. I will accept that perfection is impossible. I will be more direct. I am an employee of value. I am worthy of respect.
Love it, love it.
It's okay to ask for what I want. It's okay to allow myself to hope. It's okay to treat myself well. I can be assertive. I can treat others as I would want to be treated. I can stop obsessing and worrying. I will hope. I will try to stop myself from worrying. I will trust good people that I am close to. I am a good person. I am a courageous person. I am a loving person.
Oh, that's awesome. These are
Good.
encouraging me. I need to have all these. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay to be angry. It's okay to cry sad. It's okay to be happy, smile. I can't be positive. I can't be successful. I can't do this not to give up, keep trying. I will stand up for myself. I will keep learning. I will keep on working on my needs. I am good with handwriting. I am good with cooking skills. I am good with bowling, sewing, good person.
Okay. We gotta get cards next time so you can write down a few of these and take with you.
We've got them on YouTube.
That's right.
We can put back on
That's
that.
right. You can listen to them and write it down. That's right. Exactly. Very good. Okay. What you got?
It's okay to exercise and practice Tai Chi 6 days a week. I can climb the rainbow. I will exercise and practice Tai Chi 6 days a week. I will climb the rainbow. I am practicing Tai Chi and exercising, and I am climbing the rainbow.
Okay. Well, repetition will do the trick, won't it? Okay. All right.
It's okay to be myself. I can be assertive. I will maintain positive affirmation, and I am understanding of others.
Good. Very good. Okay. Love it. Okay, Randy, what you put?
I'm good. It's okay to sleep
Well, maybe. Okay.
I can get up early. I can eat healthy. I will take my medicine every day, and I am healthy.
Okay. All right. Good enough. That'll work. Okay. You know what I heard somebody say, and I can't remember who it was on TV or I don't know. It was just, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, I've seen that before too.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's going to be mine today.
That's a song.
Is it? Really? Okay. Well, there's only about 3 or 4 minutes. Does anybody want to say something to sort of finish off the class, or what the best thing they got from today?
Well, speaking on the it's okay to not be okay, there's a really fun artist to follow on social media, and I think she has a website too called The Latest Kate.
Oh, wait a minute. What is it?
The Latest Kate, have you heard of her?
Yes, but I haven't explored it yet.
some really cool art and just like all, there's some expletives.
Is there something about
in her-
Kate? Is it Kate or cake?
Kate.
Kate, okay,
A-T-E.
okay,
K-A-T-E.
okay.
And she's just like,
And it's supposed to be sort of funny?
yeah, it's supposed to be kind of funny, but also like, it's got some bad language in it sometimes.
Oh,
but
okay,
It's
okay.
more like, about, stuff's difficult, but you can beat it, like.
Okay,
Like
okay.
you're capable.
Right, right.
About like, facing your illness or depression
Right,
or whatever
right.
you're fighting and like, you got this. It's really encouraging.
Oh, okay, okay. That's funny, because my mom was telling me, and apparently, she must have told my brother too, because he put it on Facebook, and she said, if ever you need something to tell your members of the center, she says, you got this. And then my brother puts it on Facebook. I said, you must be telling all of my siblings that, so,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
Well,
really, they use like cute forest animals too and like mythical cartoons to
Right.
like show it. It's really cool stuff.
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it. You guys did awesome. And I was a little nervous, I'll be honest with you, because this is typically David's class. He's been doing it for quite some time. And I think you really all participated like perfecto, even though we don't have to be perfect. So, thank you
did
so
a great
much.
job